we're making the decision that for government employees, for government equipment, it is better to not have them access TikTok because of the concerns that people have in terms of safety.
Hey there, I'm Andrew Chang. Welcome to About That. So, the word from up high, no more TikTok on federal government devices. Why is Ottawa taking a hard line on this one social media app that's mostly used by a pretty narrow age group and mostly for fun? We're going to talk about that a little later in this show. But first, you might have heard about Roxham Road.
It is his job to close the border, and we're calling him to do it at the Roxham Road passage within 30 days.
For years, we have been focused on closing Roxham Road. The challenge is not to say, oh, we should close it. The challenge is how to close it.
It's a big political to-do now, but this fight over Roxham Road has been going on for an awfully long time. You might remember this. It was a few years before the pandemic, and Donald Trump was in office. In January 2018, he was in the Oval Office meeting with lawmakers about protections for immigrants. And then he said something pretty terrible. And heads up, he used explicit language.
Talk turned to Haiti and countries in Africa at that meeting. He apparently said, this is a quote, "Why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here?" You can't dance around it. Those are the words of the President of the United States.
And imagine how much that would freak you out if you were living in the United States but came from one of those countries that he's talking about, caught in a sort of limbo waiting for permanent status. But Canada had already positioned itself as a country with open arms. To those fleeing persecution, terror, and war, Canadians will welcome you, regardless of your faith. Diversity is our strength. Hashtag welcome to Canada. Now, a lot of people took that literally.
I'm Lovejoy Samali, and I crossed Roxham Road and I get into Canada in 2017.
Roxham Road. Think of it as a backdoor to Canada.
This is not illegal port of entry. This is an illegal point. This is not a way to come in.
Okay. Just because you come here doesn't mean you get to stay.
Yes.
A place that has become synonymous with refuge and second chances for those who no longer view the United States as a safe haven.
For the fact that we believe in Canada, that Canada can solve our problem. That's why we are here.
We are saving
and we don't have any other choice to go back.
We don't have any other place to go back.
Our mind is made up. We want to come into Canada.
Because
we know Canada can save our life illegally. That's the way we're here right now. We understand everything you just said right now. And that is what we want right now. We want to come in illegally.
That time they were fleeing Donald Trump's decision to deport them after the President Obama welcomed them after the serious earthquake of 2010. It was at that time the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that Canada will welcome everyone who is fleeing persecution. I was one of them. I quit my country, Togo, because of political persecution, so I decided to join the wave of migrants to Roxham Road. I have learned in the media that people are crossing the roads. I made a research on the topic, and I know that we go to New York. From New York, you take a bus to Plattsburgh, and at Plattsburgh, you can find taxi who will take you from Plattsburgh to the road.
So here's the thing. By law, a person typically has to apply for asylum wherever they arrive first, Canada or the United States. But Roxham Road isn't a typical border crossing. In fact, any unofficial crossing, like Roxham Road, allows you to simply cross and then apply for asylum. And this is about as unofficial as crossings get. Less than an hour from Montreal, where the province of Quebec meets New York State, there's this country road. It used to be made of dirt. It's since been paved. It's literally just an ordinary road, the end of a road, actually. So this is what Roxham looked like in 2017, just some rocks, part of a gate, a sign that says, "Stop, United States boundary." This is what Roxham Road looks like today. A few more signs and a nod to just how many people cross here. There's a semi-permanent structure put up where border agents process asylum seekers.
Are you under arrest?
When you arrive at the border at Roxham Road, you get arrested directly by a policeman who will tell you that if you make one more step, you get into Canada and I have to arrest you for entering Canada without any authorization. But we do it because we wanted to be arrested. But it was like one way, no return, no turning back, I want to say. And it's like one-way ticket. You don't know where you're going, but you have to go because you don't have any choice.
And that's the risk every person seeking asylum in this way takes. But it hasn't deterred them. In fact, the numbers keep growing. After that Welcome to Canada tweet from Trudeau in 2017, the number of asylum seekers crossing into Quebec by land exploded, and it stayed right at those levels right up until the pandemic. Now, that's when numbers went down, but by 2022, the number of people crossing into Quebec spiked to more than double the number of annual crossers before the pandemic hit. That year, almost 40,000 people came into the country at unofficial crossings just in Quebec, mostly through Roxham Road. Now, that explosion has been helped by American authorities who say their migrant programs are overwhelmed. So they're helping people get to the Canada-US border expressly so they can cross illegally.
If they're seeking to go somewhere else, we are helping in the reticketing process. Some want to go to Canada, some wants to go to warmer states, and we are there for them as they continue to move on with their pursuit of this dream.
And that's causing problems on this side of the border. Quebec's premier says the province can no longer handle the number of people coming in illegally and has asked the federal government to step in and help, in part by sending people to other parts of the country, which has in turn caused other problems.
And so the families that we spoke with, they're Guirlains. We're withholding last names, by the way, because of their precarious immigration status. And then there's also Sarah and her two young kids. Guirlain has been helping Sarah out however he can because she only speaks Haitian Creole. So both of them crossed at Roxham Road over a week ago. When they arrived, they were asked by immigration services where they wanted to settle. They were both headed to Montreal. Neither of them speak any English. A couple of days later, though, they were told there was no space in Montreal, that they'd be taken to Ontario.
Busloads of people are being taken to Niagara Falls and Cornwall in Ontario. The Atlantic provinces have offered to take some of the asylum claimants if the federal government provides support. Quebec is also asking the Prime Minister to make this border issue a priority when Trudeau meets with US President Joe Biden later this month. And so that's where we are today. That's how Roxham Road became such a political hot potato. Okay, after the break, the Canadian government banning TikTok.